Hello everyone, hope you have your morning coffee ready. And now we're back on C Morning Show, Google Indonesia, in collaboration with the Indonesian Education and Culture Ministry and e-commerce, launched a program called Bangkit in February 2022. This educational program was designed to prepare students with in-demand skills and tech certifications.
All right, do they have like an age range for this? Because this is very cool.
I know.
At the end of the program, students are expected to have tech and soft skills that are needed for the job. This program also aimed to open new opportunities for the tech industry.
Now, to know more about this program and its progress, we are connected with Google Indonesia's brand marketing head, Muriel Makarim, and Google Bankit participant, Dara Mulia. Good morning, ladies. How are you?
Good morning. How are you doing?
We're good, thank you. Good morning, Muriel, and of course, Dara.
Yeah.
Yes, being here with us.
All right. First of all, can you tell us more about this program? What are the targets, and when was it initiated, Muriel?
Yeah, so this program has been running for 3 years. So we're already completed our third batch. It started from way back when President Jokowi visited Google in our headquarters in Mountain View in the US in 2016, actually. And at that time, during the meeting, we committed to President Jokowi that we are going to invest in the country and train 100,000 developers on specifically mobile technologies. And fortunately, we were able to deliver that commitment in less than 2 years. We developed this program called Bangkit with the aim to develop a training program that gives opportunity for people in Indonesia, regardless of their background, where they're from, what gender they are, so they can enter the workforce ready. And what's so different and unique about this program, it's driven by industry. So companies actually design the curriculum, etc., to make sure that it meets their needs.
Right. So, you've already said that this program has been ongoing now for 3 years, if I'm not mistaken, 3 years, right? How is the growth of enthusiasm by the participants every year now coming to the year 2022? How's it been going so far?
It's pretty amazing. So when we started, we actually did kind of a pilot project only with 300 students, participants. And then the second year we grew 10x, so 3,000. And then the third year we were able to get 3,100. So we've seen a big interest from students. Last year alone, there were 65,000 applicants, which is amazing.
65,000 applicants.
Yeah, we're like the #1 program within Campus Merdeka now, so it's quite popular. But to make sure that we have high graduation rate, and also we know that the program is very, it requires a lot of investment in time and seriousness. So we had some selection criteria that led us to the 3,100 participants that most of them were able to graduate.
Well, among that 65,000, and now you narrowed it down, but from the Google point of view, how do you see the potential of Indonesian youth at the moment when it comes to tech? Has we been up to the standard yet in terms of global?
So we actually have a gap of 9 million digital talent up to the year of 2030 that we need to fulfill. So that means it's 600,000 per year. If we were to just do this BAU, business as usual, we are only going to be able to fulfill about half of that. Hence, there needs to be programs like this where we try to grow it even better. And then what we see is that a lot of the graduates that come out of Bangkit, because then they have access to our global certificates, they can either get to learn machine learning, Android mobile app development, or cloud computing. So within that, if they put that in their resume, then that already alleviates their status and have more access to jobs. So while maybe we're not there yet, but we know that the more and more we do these type of trainings, then the students will be ready to meet the international standard.
Right. And of course, we're having Dara Mulia right here also joining us. Dara is actually an alumni of Bangkit in 2021. So actually you were an alumni last year, but you participated again for Bangkit for this year. So this is kind of interesting. What drove you to join this program again this year?
Okay, thank you so much for asking. So Well, in the learning process, Bangkit is divided into three learning paths. It is mobile development, machine learning, and cloud computing.
Mm-hmm.
Each learning path is completely different, and I have always been interested in cloud computing and machine learning. But unfortunately, the research to learn cloud computing, especially in Indonesia, is still limited compared to other learning paths. And that's what made me join for Bangkit 2021 for cloud computing learning path. After I followed the learning process in Bangkit, it turned out that we were given an unlimited resources such as online classes that I can still enroll in until now, synchronous learning which provides opportunities to discuss with industry practitioners all over the world, hands-on experience through capstone project, and also career development and English development. Thus benefits that makes me decided to register again in Bangkit 2022 for machine learning path.
Okay, probably back to Muriel. So this year's batch will graduate this September, if I'm mistaken. How many participants will graduate? Will be taking part in this graduation?
Yeah, it's more than 2,500, I believe, who will graduate, which is quite a high graduation rate for us. And as many as almost 30% of them are women, which we're very happy. Our most popular learning module, which is machine learning, also have the most female participant, which is 30%. So I think within Bankit, the DNA is that we also want to make sure that we're being inclusive and make sure that groups that are maybe underrepresented from small cities, female, are also part of the program.
Right. So take us through the process, though, Muriel. After they concluded their program of the year, what's next for them? Like, how do you set forth all these students, for jobs, let's say?
What are the follow-ups?
Yes.
Yeah. So at the end of the 6-month training, they get to create their own capstone project. So they can come up with either an application they want to develop, or they could choose to work with a real company to solve their problem. At the end, then we pick the top 15 projects and we actually incubate them. So we will provide funding so that they could develop their apps or complete their project with the companies.
Right.
A lot of the graduates then ended up either starting their own business, or some of them also go to our career fair. So we have a hiring consortium. A total of more than 100 companies, I believe, have joined and partnered with us. They do career fair. We prep them to interview with companies, and then how to answer questions. And then they have access to more than 1,000 job openings. So we want to make sure that we don't just stop there just by teaching them the modules, but also getting them ready and access to these companies.
Yeah, you're setting the sad path for them.
Yeah, and I remember you said about we have the gap of 9 million resources in tech. As a company and participating also in developing the talents in Indonesia, do you have anything in mind or in plan yet to actually help that aside of probably doing the Bankit program?
Well, we will be announcing the next year program soon. So Bankit 2023, where we will be opening more batches. Wait for it soon, but there's plan to make it bigger and better. But it's still in the works right now. So in a couple of months, hopefully you'll hear some great news.
Ooh, love it.
And you know what? Of course, we want to know from Muriel, if you don't mind, we want to hear from Dara's side also. I mean, she's been in the program now for 2 years consecutively, right? And there are 3 programs or 3 lessons in the program. There's machine learning, mobile development, and cloud computing. Now, Dara, out of all of this, what is your favorite lesson?
So besides the hard skill, the most valuable and my favorite lesson is their soft skill learning. Previously, I always thought that making a product or innovation was expensive and required the involvement of many people. The idea inside myself getting blocked because of my own task, which made me difficult to grow. However, Bangkit has taught me that it is not difficult to innovate because there are many approaches that can be taken, such as applying the MVP, minimum viable product method in the development process, and the growth mindset to always think positive and dare to try. Applying these 2 things makes me dare to innovate and participate, even win in various technology innovation competitions.
But not only this, Dara. One thing that I also admire from you is you were selected as Stanford University Innovation Fellow and represented your university in this program last year. What did you do, and what was the result, if you can tell us?
Okay. Okay, thank you for asking. So, University Innovation Fellows, or UIF itself, is a program to empower students around the world to become agents of change in their school. Some of the points out in the UIF program are innovation, entrepreneurship, design thinking, and creativity. From this point, me and my team decided to make an innovation named UG Food Hub. So this initiation started because my campus didn't have a canteen since it established in 1981. Because
Oh.
my campus has a philosophy to advancing the economy of the resident around my campus. But unfortunately, it turns out that 97% academic members end up buying from the closest seller from around campus.
Right?
So the point for advancing people's economy is not often right. That's why we created a UG Food Hub to stimulate economy of the resident around campus, as well as a place for students entrepreneurship.
Now, Dara, after completing and achieving those innovations, your initiatives, and also you're a part of the Bankit program, you're an alumni. If I would say, and if we were to ask you, Hans and I would ask you, how do you see yourself? What would you see yourself in the next 5 years? What would you do? What would you innovate? What would initiatives that you would command? What would that be, Dara?
Well, previously I always thought I want to be an entrepreneurship, but Bangkit and also you have program open many perspective, and now I decided to be a teacher.
Oh my
I want to be a
goodness!
teacher.
How
That is
noble
very
of you.
noble.
I love that.
Very noble. But Muriel, as your observations during probably 3 years of the program
Program.
of Bankit, what did you see as the core problem or the main problem of the 9 million human resources gap in tech?
Yeah, it's the foundational skill. This is a new era. Tech will continue to grow. And what is exciting is that actually behind the pandemic, behind the COVID, the challenges that we had, tech was the one that's booming. Everybody goes online now. Everything that you used to do offline now is done online. So then it's become accelerated even more.
Yeah.
So since the speed has grown by so much, then building this foundation, building this training need to grow as fast. Hence, like doing what we used to do before just didn't cut it. And what's important is that in order to grow the tech talent in the country, we do need to look up to mentors, people who are very experienced, and these typically come from outside the country, in countries where the tech is a bit more mature. So how do we bring in more people from outside the country to teach our young generation, teach the local Indonesians so they could become like them? They have some people to look up to aspire to. And that's where Bankit comes in. There's mentorship, there's teachers who we bring in who are experts in their field that are not just from Indonesia, but from everywhere around the world.
I agree that tech is actually something that's very important in these days, like what Muriel just said. Everything just go online.
And-
Even finding potential relationship as easy as swiping right and swiping left.
I mean, that is why it's so good that Google made this initiative collaborating with the ministry, right? E-commerce and also universities.
Yeah.
Hence, that's why, again, this is the 3rd year. Bankit program will be graduating for this batch in September. So when you will have another program now, Muriel, please do indulge us with the information, what the requirements, the regulations, age preferences. Again,
probably.
talking about age, coming back to me. Am I still
I've
allowed?
been eyeing on this.
Right?
Now that we have this conversation, I'm eyeing on this.
Yeah, so typically we announce our new batch in December where we open for registration. We will follow Campus Merdeka criteria, so we're working closely with the ministry on that to make sure that we can have access to the greatest and brightest students. But like I said, it will hopefully be bigger and better. We want to definitely grow from beyond 3,000 students per year.
Yes.
Let's see, we're working out the details right now.
All
There you
right. Muriel Makarim Dara Mulia, thank you so much for sharing this with us. And also thank you for making this happen for Indonesian youth at the moment. Dara, congrats and also good luck for your future encounters. Thank you so much. Good morning, ladies.
Thank you, Muriel and
Thank you.
Dara. Stay safe. Have a great Monday.